Clutch closers. When your shadow talks you into shortcutting the process, he talks you into not only shortcutting yourself, but your customer, your gross, and your CSI. It's time to put on the show. No matter what product, good or service you're selling, odds are you have some kind of process. If you're in the car business, you might be working a 5-step process, a 10-step process, a 12-step process. And no matter how many steps are in your process, the one thing your customer deserves above everything else is the full show. Everyone deserves to have that full show. That's what the process is. The process is your opportunity to show your customer why they should buy from you, sell yourself, sell your product. You're going to sell your customer and have one for life, but the show is where it happens. In the book Good to Great, Circuit City was once featured as one of the great companies of all time. They were a good company and they went to great. One thing that Circuit City changed in their business model to me, that was the absolute downfall, was they swapped their salespeople from commission salespeople to hourly salespeople. You go find your Circuit City right now and see how they sell you. I'll give you a minute. Google them. See where the closest location is to you, right? They're not anymore. They were a good company, a great company. Books were wrote about them. They changed their commission pay plan, and all of a sudden, nobody put on the show anymore. I can remember the first time I went into a Circuit City, and all I wanted to spend was about $200 on a VCR. That's it. I can remember walking over into the corner, and Montalvan walked up to me. Montalvan was a legend inside of Circuit City. Montalvan walks up and he says, "I see you looking at the new TVs we have." And I really wasn't. I was looking at the VCR on top. But why you mention it, Montalvan? Yeah, I am looking at the new TV. Hold on one second, sir. Let me show you the new TV. He cuts the TV off. He stands back at me and he looks at it. He says, "Look at how dark the tube is. Is it not the darkest tube you've ever seen?" And I'm looking, I'm thinking, you know what, man, this guy's right. That is the darkest tube I've ever seen on a TV. I still to this day don't have a clue why that was so important to me, but Montalvan could pull me in, and he started going with the process, and next thing I know, I'm sold on a TV. Next thing, and it was one of them big giant ones, you know, them things that were huge and weighed 400 pounds. They were this thick and this wide, and it was 52 inches. Next thing you know, I have a DivX player on top of it, if you remember those. DVD/DivX, VCR player, TiVo when it had a separate box, a dish TV coming up. I mean, the upsells just coming one after the next. Next thing you know, my $200 VCR turned into a $6,000 payment plan on a complete entertainment center. And that's the difference between today's experience or yesterday's experience before Circuit City went out of business, where I walked into Circuit City with a little bit more money than I had maybe the first time I ever walked in it. And I wanted an entertainment center. And I walked in with $3,000 in my pocket, and I knew I wanted a Bose surround sound entertainment center, similar to maybe the one I bought from Montalvan years ago. And the lady walks up to me, and she says, "Can I help you?" And what did I tell her? I'll pause, and you know what I said. I had the money in my pocket. I knew what I wanted to buy. I was there to buy. What do you think I told her? "Can I help you?" "I'm just looking." Right? It's the first objection we all have to learn how to overcome is "I'm just looking." Montalvan knew how to overcome it. "I see you're looking at the new TV, sir. Let me show you the dark tube." Her answer? "Great. Let me know if I can help you. I'll be over here." And I stood there in front of the Bose with my money in my pocket, and I felt that $3,000, and I looked at the entertainment center, and I thought to myself, man, I like this money in my pocket. It feels good to me. I worked hard for it. I love cash. I like that surround sound system. I'm going to leave with the cash. And she never talked me into buying it. And I ended up at some other place, and I bought some other odd surround sound system that I saved money on. And I'll tell you, I told my wife the other day, I said, you know, I still have it to this day. It's in our bedroom. And I said, I don't know how much money I saved by buying this ridiculous surround sound system in here, but all I know is that I absolutely hate it. I hate the thing, and I know even if I'd had that little bit of older technology that would still be in that Bose, it would be so much better than what I have now. And I often think, what would the experience be if I had just laid out the $3,000 to buy it? She never gave me a reason to buy. She never put on the show for me. Montavon put on the show, and he had a customer for life. The new Circuit City in the new way, no show, no customer, out of business. And your customers deserve every bit of the show. If you decide at any point your shadow is going to talk to you, your shadow is going to tell you every reason in the world why you should shortcut the system. Listen, they have bad credit. You need to get a credit app. Why? If they've got bad credit and you got to get a credit app, all it's going to do is make you negative about the deal. Move anything negative and just push it as far away from you as you can possibly get. Deal with the negative stuff later. You need to stay positive. Remember, if you think you have a deal and if you think you don't, you're probably right. So you've got to listen to yourself and not your shadow when your shadow's whispering to you and telling you all those reasons to start shortcutting the system. It's that fear that you have, that fear that you're going to waste your time. It's one of the same fears that your customer has. Your customer has a shadow whispering to you, to them. You have a customer whispering to you. One of you has to stop listening, right? Your goal is to get your customer to listen to you and not their shadow, and you have to stop listening to your shadow before you can do that. What does your process entail? What does your show entail? Your show probably entails something along the lines of a meet and greet, a needs analysis, selecting a vehicle, going for a test drive, doing some trial closes, writing up the customer, closing the customer, putting into finance and delivering the deal, right? Then some follow-up. That's a 10-step process there. It's something similar to that. But along the way, you're going to have plenty of opportunities to skip some of those. You don't skip anything inside your process. You follow it hook, line, and sinker. Your customer is going to try to move you along. They're going to try to move you straight to price. What's your best price? And that's one reason is because that's all they know to ask. They still deserve the full show from start to finish. So if your customer comes in and said, I want your best price, or no problem, I'll be glad to get you my best price. And then you start back over. By the way, my name is Brad. Welcome. Boom. You start into your meet and greet. You got it? It's that simple. Don't let your customer shortcut the process. Again, they'll think they want to. They're going to try to jump and move along. The first thing they're going to want to know is price. Price is down here. You sell on your feet. You close on your seat. They're going to want to try to jump. It's only because they have some fear, some uncertainty, some doubt, and it's all they know to ask. They don't realize there's a show that you're about to put on. Don't let them talk you into it. Don't let your shadow talk you into it. And you just put on the absolute best show of your life. And if you can learn to put on that show, there are areas inside of it that you can really dazzle. You're going to see that you have some strengths and some weaknesses, and you can accent those. When I first started selling cars, my biggest strength that I had was my ability to do a walk around. I knew at that point, I realized early on that the walk around is the one true place where I could sell myself, I could sell the vehicle, I could sell the dealership, and I could do it all at one time. It's one of the only places inside of a car deal where you could do that. And so I knew that once I got to that process of moving them to where I could do a strong walk around, I could sprinkle out some bee-back powder on them, or more importantly, close the deal right then, you're going to have a strength in the show. Something about it is going to be your specialty. Maybe it's understanding the needs analysis. Maybe it's selling on your feet. Maybe it's when you finally sit down on your seat. But whatever your strength is, don't shortcut the rest of the system. Give your customer the absolute full show, and that's going to help you close more car deals. It's going to make you clutch in the close, and that's why you're a clutch closer.